Bath's where I grew up, and it's always been home. When people see Bath, they see the Roman baths, they see the Crescent, and they think everyone lives like that. But where I lived, it was a quite large council estate, lots of children, lots of single parents. There was always something being stolen or vandalised. It was okay. I think I'm painting it out to be worse than it was. I didn't know anyone that had ever gone to university. I thought people like me stay at home and either work or have children, and other people go to university and become doctors or lawyers. There was no one to tell me, well, actually, there's all these other options out there. For me, the only option was to go to work, which is what I did. I started working at McDonald's when I was 17, was able to get myself promoted to a point. I then realised that there was sort of a ceiling, and I thought, well, I can't see myself doing this until I retire. There was no challenge in that job anymore. I bumped into a friend at the pub, and she told me about an access course, and I thought, well, that's something I could do. That's a way out for me. I wanted to stay local so that I could look after my dad. He had a stroke when I was little, so he didn't leave the house very much, and I didn't feel like I could leave him. But I was just incredibly lucky that a university as good as Bath was on my doorstep. I've been up on campus before. We used to have all my sports days in the sports training village every year. And to me, that was what university was. I came up for sports day and I went again. That was the day I was allowed in. I was really nervous that I wasn't going to fit in or I hadn't dressed correctly. And I thought, people like me don't go to places like this. Am I just kidding myself that this is something that I can do? But then coming up the university drive, I had a real sort of gut feeling. It was like, this is where I wanted to be and this is where I should be. My parents aren't necessarily in a position to help me out financially. I did look at part-time work, but there are only so many hours in the day. Every hour I spend at work is an hour that I could either spend studying or being with my dad. Looking after someone is physically as well as emotionally challenging and time-consuming, and other than my degree, there was nothing I could do for myself because that was all time taken away from my dad, which I didn't want to do. So. I could be in lectures all day, see my dad, get home at 8, 9 o'clock in the evening and then start writing essays. And that was my life for like 3 years. Like, there was no room for error, there was no time for going out. It was tricky. I did look at all the bursary schemes, which is how I ended up being a scholar, which has really helped out financially as well as adding a load of things to my CV, like going to volunteer at the Holborn Museum. And I was able to take part in a really wide range of things that I never would have really thought of before. A scholarship is the difference between doing the best you can and just muddling through. I got the phone call and I literally burst into tears. It was quite embarrassing, but I was just completely over the moon. I thought, I've got into uni, I've now got this scholarship, like all the things were just falling into place. Before I started uni, I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what doors are open to me, whereas now, it's nice to know that there are things out there that I can do. This summer, I'll be doing an internship with Lloyds Bank in their HR stream. It gives me the chance to work with people and help people, and if all goes well, I'm hoping to join their HR graduate programme next year. So having my scholarship just meant that I could focus on my degree and I could focus on my dad, so it didn't just change my life, but it also changed his. And I can only hope that that's helped to make him proud of me.